claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. These motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all's deep. Everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets it. Yo, Wendy's done told you. Dollar Club done told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Boom. What up, everybody? Hope everybody is having an outstanding, what is this, Tuesday? You know life is good when you don't know what day of the week it is. So, this one is going to be relatively short, only because there's so much to talk about that we can't really, I don't know, unravel everything. We can hit, I guess, some high-arching themes and kind of elaborate once again on what's going on. You know, just more of the same. A lot of macroeconomic implications that are starting to take their effect, right? And we're starting to see how it's hitting people's bank accounts in a very, very direct way. You know, if you're going to the store, you're paying. You know, you're paying more than you were before. And it's just a start, right? These are the kinds of things that we've been discussing for a year. And guess what? The day has finally come where people got to pay the cost to just exist. And that's a function of the system that we have and how it works, in conjunction with what we basically let happen, because things happen because we don't stop it from happening. So very important people understand that, because that is how shit changes. It doesn't change in any other way. So
boom.
Yes, sir. Let me know when you want me to share your screen, bro.
I just flipped it over. What's up, everybody? Jay here, coming at you. Coming at you live.
Right.
With my boy Wales. Yeah, man. $100,000 nickel that just happened.
Yeah, commodities are fucking out of control. Out of control.
Yeah.
I remember so my best friend, when he got married in what was this, 2019? It might have been the summer of 2019. I was like sounding like a madman, telling everybody that would listen to me, buy and roll, because the futures is a little different than everything else. And here we are, 300% later in most cases. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. Absolute wild. And so usually when you see prices like this, I flipped to share my screen. I don't know if you got the
Give me a
see
second.
the thing. Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is like recession territory, right? I mean, just
Yes.
wheat alone.
Wheat alone.
Because what was it? I was trying to pull this up earlier, but we had the Arab Springs. That
2011.
situation was very similar to this, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, like, the thing you got to understand is that for everyone listening, is that when you see inflation like this hit in the US, you got to understand it's like 10, 20, 100 times worse in emerging markets. And so this like, okay, you can be like, oh, hey guys, it's not such a big deal. Just relax, everyone calm down with this inflation talk. Well, it's like, we can't, because if everything else around you falls and crumbles, you're just as fucked. So
Correct.
that's the actual issue, is like how well can this be contained, and how far is this going to spread? And that's what you have to worry about when you see wheat prices shoot up. And it's not like, there's an argument to be made that it's not like the farmers are getting rich now off the wheat, because the price of everything is up simultaneously, like at the same time. So the pesticides are up, everything is up. So it's not like they're balling out of control.
So why is that? The reason for that is because, and Jay, zoom in because people want to see the CS note. The reason for that is because the base cost of everything, which is petroleum, is up. Everything that happens in this world requires energy. That means that it requires crude oil, because guess what? You want to run machinery, you want to grow a harvest, you want to do anything, it requires machinery. That's exactly what happened 100 years ago. We went from manpower to machine power. We went from horsepower to machine power, right? So it's understanding these historical facts that help us understand, like, the difference, right? And how things are actually produced versus what's being told to people, which is a major importance.
Yeah. And I mean, like, the nickel situation, there was a big Chinese investor, like tycoon, whatever, billionaire guy.
Yeah,
He
one of the biggest
got
commodities. Yeah, one of the biggest commodity firms in China.
Yeah, like the liquidations, they haven't even figured out how much this guy owes yet. But it's like, you play stupid games, you win what?
Yeah.
Stupid prizes.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing on the screen is this is Zoltan. This guy's like basically an OG in the economist space, because he called the repo crisis market before it happened. He's called a lot of the big moves, and he kind of tends to tell you how it is, just like we do. But this guy's like actually paid to do this for a living, so it's so rare to see somebody actually telling you what the deal is like this. So that's why a lot of people like him, right? Like even like Zero Hedge and stuff, they love this guy because he's always like just laying it down. So what he's talking about here is that there's going to be a Bretton Woods 3. And what's happening right now, as you can see, some of the underline, I didn't underline this red. They actually did it themselves. So Bretton Woods 3, you see a crisis is unfolding. A week ago, G7 seized Russia's FX reserves. They're talking now about trying to hold hostage their gold reserves and probably whatever else they can get their hands on at this point. But what's essentially happening is like the entire old system of fiat and currency is crumbling. Like that's what this is saying.
It ended already, actually.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty much been over. It's just now there's people that are like, okay, we can say this out loud, right? Okay, yeah. All right,
Yeah, now it's officially over, because that's what closing off Russia to SWIFT basically it signified.
Yeah.
Because now it's divided a big portion of the global economy and global trade. Period. No ifs, ands, and buts. For no reason.
I know, dude. And there's a lot there that I personally don't understand in terms of like, I haven't dug into the history of Ukraine. I've just got like a lot of the more recent stuff, like with Burisma and with the laptop and whatnot, but there's a lot more there to unpack. And so unless you're willing to go deep down into that and understand a more longer timeline on that.
This didn't just start this week.
Yeah. This is the result.
Back. Yeah, this is so everything you're seeing in mainstream media, as always, is a lie. Period. So nobody actually knows what's going on in Ukraine at all. Even the people that live there don't have a fucking clue. Because I guarantee
I would argue they're the easiest to manipulate.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, have you seen, assuming that those pictures are real, all the people at the train station? Like, where the fuck y'all going exactly?
Yeah.
I have no. I mean, Ukraine is not some fucking third world cesspool. Like, where are they going? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's been a lot of shifty news that's hit. And I mean, it took 2 weeks for us to even start getting real footage. I mean, even Reuters has a whole thread, like 30 posts long, pointing out all the fake shit that's been shared so far.
Wow.
The Ghost of Kyiv
Reuters.
story, all this shit was fake.
Reuters is owned by the people that stay lying, so that's funny. I don't even know what to say to
Right?
that.
That's how bad that is.
Yeah.
That they even came out and did it. That's my point. Is that they even came out and did a fact checking thread, but the fact checking is correct this time. So it's like,
Right.
wow.
Right.
So yeah, he's talking about, you know, we're teed up for a 50 base point jump at the next FOMAC, which is not going to happen. They got away with. I don't even think they're going to raise. I'm going to be honest. I don't even think they're going to raise rates. I don't think they need to. This whole war fear cycle that's kicked in now is going to take care of all gains and wipe those completely clean out of the stock market for them. They don't even need to do anything else. They just keep pushing this, and it'll just keep doing the job for them, right? But I think there's also like a bigger issue. I think as days roll on, they're like out of like that's no longer an option. They can't just do that now. Because could you imagine if they raised rates right now?
Well,
And
that's
just sit with that for a
off the
second.
table. And
I think
told you, remember when we talked about this? I told you they're going to talk it up, but they're never going to actually do it because that's how it works.
That's right. That's right.
That's how it works.
I remember that.
This
and
is
they just
very basic.
this came along at just the perfect timing, hey? Just a big coincidence that this hit when it did.
Well, no, because I told everybody, look, I pointed it out in fucking January, if not last month. I pointed it out. They've been talking about Ukraine since the year flipped over.
Yeah.
Only person not aware is a person that chooses not to be. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they ain't hiding shit.
Well, and what I feel like they do is they're pushing so many cards across the board at one time that so many are like a couple steps away from being amplified and then that taking over the news cycle. And they do that on purpose. So then if they need to push this Russia card, they can. If they need to push, you know, BLM and civil protests, they can. If they need to push this card, they can. They've got so many pawns now on the board that they can just push whatever one they want, amplify it for a couple weeks, bang, there's your event.
I mean, look at how perfectly this played into everything for them. Like, they really think that people believe inflation is a function of this fake war thing.
Yeah. And like Russia's the reason for high gas prices, right? Yeah. They're actually saying that. Yeah, Pelosi and Biden are actually saying that.
Yeah, even though it was just $4 before it crossed $4 like 2 weeks ago. or $3.50 or whatever. Like, it was already higher than it was. So they're not doing or saying anything that's value add in any way, shape, or form. Just not possible.
And that also means that the CBDCs are much closer than they're talking about.
100%.
Much closer. Because I remember doing a video talking about the Fed Now coin in 2019, and they were talking about that they're 4 or 5 years away. That was bullshit.
100%. Look, look, man. Every time they say something, it's the complete opposite. If they're fucking 5 years away, they're 5 months away. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe nothing they say. It's all a lie.
Yeah, I wonder if they scale up multiple like that. Like, if it really is that simple. Like, if they just literally take a 5-year window and it's really 5 months. Like, what is the multiple that they scale, or is it just completely arbitrary numbers they use?
I would guesstimate that best case arbitrary.
If they used the real one but lied about the duration, it would allow them to feel more truth within the statement that they're making now.
Well, no, here's the thing. This is how they work. In my experience, this is what I've experienced. What happens is that they'll, like, look at how the military numbers things. This is a good example. The military numbers things, it's randomly numbered, right? It's like 1st Tank Division or 1st Armored Division, and you got 3rd Armored Division, and you got 93rd Armored Division, and so on and so forth. You have all these different divisions, but none of them actually exist, right? Like, there's not 90 tank divisions, but you got number 1, number 3, number 5, 90, and 7, and all these random numbers.
Got it.
You feel me?
That makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
That's how they obfuscate the reality of their size. That's how they really do it. But if you're not in it, you're not gonna know. But that's one way, right? Another way is just by providing misinformation. And that's done using psychological operations, psychological warfare. And this is what the media is for: pamphlets, propaganda, marketing, etc., etc. This is what all those items are used for. And as we all see, they use them gladly. They're not shy about it. Um, and this is, all part of the big game for them, as they've all broadcasted numerous times, with the little reset and all that, right? I mean, we're in the midst of it, clearly. They're destroying their current financial system, and they're not shy about it. They're letting you know that that's what they're doing, right? They're not shy about it. So whoever doesn't know is because they don't want to know.
True.
So
Yeah, avoiding.
yeah.
So what is the future, and how does Bitcoin fit into this? Well, we've got this looming executive order, right? That's been kind of paraded around now for like a month.
Yeah, we
But
talked
here's-
about that, didn't we? Like
yeah,
a month
like
ago.
twice.
Yeah.
Because every time we got on, they had just said like, "Oh, I'm going to make an executive order."
Yep.
Here's what's interesting about that, though. I did hear a unique piece to this angle. Supposedly, they're going to get the EPA involved. Now, if they do, this is going to be a fucking disaster for Bitcoin and most proof of work concepts. Is because what they're going to, I think, try and do is attach on some sort of meter, and they're going to try and meter and throttle usage of it. Well, which would be hilarious, because simultaneously they're going to ignore all the money and all the energy and all the pollutants that it costs to mine lithium, to pull lithium out of the ground for your electric batteries. They're going to ignore all the pollution and all the waste that is involved with mining gold and all these other commodities out of the ground, and they're going to hyper focus on Bitcoin, I think. And then they're going to force people, like there's going to be carbon credit system involved in this. This could get really interesting for Bitcoin if the APA gets involved.
It sounds super funny to me because they're not like, so why is it funny? Because that's not going to hold up in a court of law. Like, all you got to do is go to court and be like, this is not equitable. Get the fuck out of here, and done.
Yeah,
Simple
I don't
as
think
that.
I don't think a lot of this would stick long term, especially
Hell
like
no.
if it
Hell
was
no.
so lopsided. Just imagine, like, if it is that lopsided, and it's like EPA is going to try and clamp down on this and blah blah blah, and they're going to try and play that climate angle, because it seems like they're really keen on playing that. They have not dropped that at all. They just keep saying it, even though they've been proven wrong.
Yeah, 100%. And let's talk about why. Because so I had a little project I did back in my early days in college where I had to write a paper for a business law class on carbon tax credits. So I have a little intimate experience in regards to what this is all about, because I had to make a case as to why this was bullshit. Because even though I knew nothing, what I did know was that carbon credits were bullshit. So I had to do my due diligence to confirm that it was. Now, why is it bullshit? Well, the reason it's bullshit is because how are you measuring the tonnage of the carbon that's being emitted?
Exactly.
You can't.
You can't.
That's how.
You can't, because you're talking about such a dynamic system too. Like from day to day, you
100%.
can't even
Brother,
make assumptions.
hold on, man. I said this in 2007. This is not motherfucking rocket science, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is not. I said this in 2007, Jay. I was just a 20-something-year-old punk that didn't know shit yet. So clearly, this is not hard to figure out. I'm sorry. Like, this is just a joke. Like, for them to think that that is plausible is the same thing as them saying they're going to be able to invoke the little Green New Deal, which they've never been able to pull off. They've never been able. The only thing they've been able to do, which is still weird to me in some ways, but maybe we'll get into that at some other point in time, is shut down the pipelines. Now, I think the reason that they've been able to shut down the pipelines is because you got more people, more middlemen involved in that pipeline scenario versus something like crypto. Like, think about it. How can they stop Bitcoin from hashing Bitcoin? Somebody is gonna, like, they gotta go, like, the energy companies gotta let the fucking feds know that that's what's happening, and they gotta go and confirm that that's what's happening. So there has to be breach of Fourth Amendment rights. So it's just not going to happen
on a massive scale.
massive scale. So it's just
Right.
not going to happen. You know,
Yeah.
and this is what's sad about the whole space, right? Especially the American side of the house, is the fact that they don't know their basic fucking rights and that they get worked up over nonsense like this. It's
Yeah.
ludicrous. Ludicrous.
Well, I think some of it is based on what they've seen people getting away with, but I think it's mostly just fear, because at the end of the day,
100%.
like the legal system is there for a reason, and if that's what's occurring, then all that's required is somebody to now bring them into court. But because nobody brings them into court, they get away with it. That's actually what's
100%.
happening.
Yo,
Now,
all
if
right.
everyone hold them to the letter of the law, then that wouldn't be occurring. But it's
If
only because nobody holds them accountable.
correct, look at
That's
all
it.
the money travel rules. All the money travel rules are invasive. Period. Each and every single one. How is it that they get to inquire about why you're sending money to where you're sending it and where the money came from and all that? They don't get to inquire about that. The fuck out of here. That's a
Yeah.
complete breach of your Fourth Amendment rights. Yet they do it every damn day. Anytime you send money, they do it. Anytime you open an account somewhere, they do it. And the justification is what? KYC AML. Oh,
Mhm.
terrorism, fake shit again. What a surprise.
Yeah. Now, just imagine this for a second, because you're speaking to a much larger issue.
Mm.
What if everyone was fully versed on the law? Would all these things still be occurring? No.
Hell no.
The mandates, the flying rules, all
None
of
of
it would
this.
have never happened, because everyone would have been like, yo, whoa, wait a second, what? Nope. And they would have dragged them into court, and this would have never stuck.
Yep.
So it's really like pointing out one of many problems, but it's that there's not enough people fully versed on the legal system in the United States right now. There's a very small percentage, and they're very busy making easy money on dumb shit. So they don't want to help you because
Not at
it's
all.
hard. That's a harder case to win. And there's bullying, and there's like outside factors that they don't want to deal with when they can just go hit layups all day. Why would you take a three when you know that you can get a layup? Right?
Literally.
Literally. So here's that tweet on the screen that I was talking about: environmental impact of digital assets, blah, blah, blah. So again, I think the whole point here is to raise all this fireworks and all these flags so that people are like, oh man, and then they're never going to allow me to do it, and then this and then that. And so I might as well just go get the CBDC. That's what they want you to do. They want to help walk you through this like broken, fractured, what you think is logical train of thought, down to the end conclusion. Again, herding the corral, herding the sheep, the horses, the cattle, whatever you want to call it, down to the solution, which is theirs. That's always their plan. Always. So I think this is just like going to be that next step where it's like, it's already getting so much traction, right? And everyone's like, oh my God, what does this mean? And they're going to throttle it and they're going to meter it and this and that. And like, that might be what they talk about, because again, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to say, okay, fuck it, let's just use the CBDC. That's it. What was I going to say on that front? With crypto. Oh, so that's another good question. Is okay. So we're talking about a Bretton Woods 3.0. Let's say Bitcoin's involved in that, right? I like playing around with this thought experiment to see if there's holes in this. So let's say the Bitcoin's involved, right? And then central banks got to hold some, right? And family offices would, and hedge funds would. Anyone who wants to play now as an accredited investor in this game is going to have to hold a small reserve amount. And they'll probably come up with some really good rule so that you have to only hold a very small percentage. But now we're talking possibly hundreds at the central bank level. Family offices, hedge funds, now we're talking tens of thousands of offices having to acquire Bitcoin. What would that actually, so first off, you would probably see the price go up quite a bit because supply is getting completely yanked off the market. So congratulations to the few thousand people who will probably get rich. But longer term, that whole system cannot really operate. Nothing really moves. So I would assume that the market dries up for the most part, and which would then lead to the price pumping even harder. So yes, 100,000, maybe $1 million Bitcoin, who knows where it would stop. And then they would hold less and less reserves, so they would probably sell off. But what would probably happen quicker than that is ETFs would finally get approved, and then they can fractionalize Bitcoin down with and mask with paper. And so my question is, what's stopping them from doing the same shit they've done for the however many decades with gold and silver? If you go back to the charts, you can literally see in the chart the fucking day that ETFs launched on silver and gold, because there's dramatic price moves. And ever since then, JP Morgan's been holding a short position on silver. They took it over from Bear Stearns. And they had to pay over $900 million. It was $1 billion, but then it dropped for metals manipulation for over a decade. One guy was found guilty, by the way, the actual floor trader.
The one guy.
The one fucking guy. They didn't roll Jamie in there.
No.
And so it's like, okay, wouldn't the same shit then happen to Bitcoin? So what have we done now? We've now just created another bank asset, another thing for them to use. Where's the sovereignty in that? And don't get me wrong, right? Like there is like, as long as you're not holding it on a centralized exchange, like you're retaining your value. Nobody, it's really hard to take it from you. I know that there was this big scare with the Freedom Convoy with Canada that people's Bitcoin was being taken. It really wasn't, unless it was on a centralized exchange. You cannot go and get that out of a wallet. It's almost impossible. There's just too many quintillion, possibility of addresses, etc., to like crack that. You would have to crack the SHA 256 component of Bitcoin to even figure that out, which I don't think you'd be able to. So, yeah, it's safe as long as it's in your wallet. But then how do you get that value out? So if the place doesn't accept Bitcoin, so unless Bitcoin adoption is like 100% overnight for everything, how do you get that money out? You can maybe get a loan against it, but the minute you take it into a centralized exchange, you run the risk of it being gone. So it's kind of like a closed loop system. That like, and again, how does that benefit like Jenny down the street that just wants to go buy bread? How does that work? I don't know. So
kind of doesn't.
Yeah, I'm willing to be wrong on this, but it's like I kind of just see this playing out the same way fucking gold and silver played out.
Well, I got to tell you, I've been talking about this also for a while because, as I've highlighted numerous times, and I just haven't had the time to make a stream on it, but Bitcoin is co-opted. I've already shown that Ethereum is co-opted. I mean, I've been saying it. I just, don't always have the time to give you guys the proof, but I've already shown you guys the proof of Ethereum is being co-opted by the World Economic Forum. Fact of the matter is that Blockstream is also co-opted by them. And you just got to dig to find it. These people are not hidden. Like, their resumes are online. The information is readily available. These people are not, Bitcoin isn't here to help you get rich. That's why they push the same things that they always push, which is what's beneficial to their system, right? This is why specifically crypto bad, NFT good. This is why they're pumping bullshit, right? This is why you now have to pay $4.50 a gallon if you live in somewhere that's cheap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is really what's happening, right? There's nobody getting anything for free out here unless they're part of the gang, and everybody else got to pay. So the question becomes, well, why? Why do we have to pay when they can merely print anyway? That's the question, because the whole objective is to find a way to corner this market so that it can't continue to grow. They've already had to deal with 0 to 69,000. It's bad enough they got 100 other coins to contend with. So their best bet is to what? Con you into believing that crypto is actually free via Bitcoin. All the while, they're just suckering you into buying something that they're going to suppress. Just like
Yes.
they did with gold and silver.
Yes, and I think that's the play.
Yeah,
100%. So they're getting you to lose your money. So it's like, it's so wild if you step back and look at the entire crypto market. We've talked about this quite a bit. Is you go into it's just like a casino. It's just an online version of a casino, man. So you got all the screaming distractions, which in a casino are bright, shiny colors, maybe half-naked women, whatever it is, right? Those are the distractions. And it's the same thing here. So it's the 100x leverage. It's the NFT project that just launched. It's the new coin. It's the IDO. It's the new platform launching. It's the layer 1 that's going to take over ETH. That's all that is. So you're going to lose a lot of your money in the casino, and they know that. And so you're going to lose a lot of your money on these rug pulls, on these pump and dumps, on these NFTs, which look at the movement on NFTs and how much those have dried up now over the last couple of weeks. Completely dried up. So the floors have dropped as well as liquidity is gone. So now you're just, if you're sitting on that stuff, you better just be sitting on it. And that's what they want, right? Because it's like, we've talked about this quite a bit, is how many people, I don't think there's a single person on this planet outside of Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet that is holding crypto from the bottom.
Right.
Bitcoin from the bottom. I don't think there's a single fucking
I don't
person
think so either.
on this planet.
I think if they exist, they're probably deceased.
Like everyone would have taken profit at some point, and they probably took profit at like $10,
right.
$5. You know what I mean?
Right.
They are not holding that shit still.
Nah.
No fucking
No way. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still holding some from when I got in 2017. I think it was around like 2,500. And it's like, I don't think I'm ever going to use it though. And it's more so just like a cool story and like, I don't know, maybe clout or something. But yeah, it's like, it was never really a point just to see like how long I could stay committed, right? And how strong of diamond hands I could have on something new like this.
Right.
And it wasn't that much. I mean, it is, but it's not like I bought fucking 50 Bitcoin.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just interesting to step back and look at that. And it's like, you see them teeing up because the US dollar out of this entire situation is going to be weak. He even says it right here. What you could expect is that because everything's playing so nicely into China's hands, is that Chinese currency should be up and US dollar should be down by the end of this. Because remember, we still got 40% of circulating supply got printed out in the last 2 years. And what's that Ukraine package you were just telling me about? 14 billion now they're going to give out to Ukraine. Where's that coming from?
Really to themselves, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. To defense contractors and LLCs and trusts that just move right back to them.
Precisely.
If you followed that money.
I mean, it's funny because it's not like they hide it.
No, they don't. They really don't.
Nope.
But it's just because people think there's no way this could be happening that's how they get away with it.
It's funny because they just don't hide it. I don't even know what to say. I don't care what people think. You know, it's just they're not hiding it. It's there. You know, your lack of imagination is not my problem. You know what I mean? Like the shit's there. So, you know, get with it.
Here we go right here. Here's how he wraps it up. Just talking about how Bretton Woods 3 is going to be backed by outside money. I think he's still a little bit behind. He's thinking it's going to be gold, bullion, and other commodities. Unless other commodities, he's already thinking ahead that they're going to list Bitcoin as a commodity. It's getting rolled under that umbrella. There's no doubt about it because they can't block it out and box it out.
As you guys know, I have a lot of experience with like regulatory crap and how the system works. And I'm going to tell you guys what their best regulatory bet is in order to make their ability to tax it work. Because the reality is that they don't have any power here, period. So it actually doesn't matter what they say or do. All they can do is get you to believe that what they say matters. That's it. They can't do anything else. Very important people understand that. Because that's how I got flooded out of Bitcoin back in the day. Literally, by not understanding that. Because that's the only reason it went from 0 to 69,000, folks. It didn't go from 0 to 69,000 because of regulation. Regulation is irrelevant. So anybody relying on that to make an investment is a fool. Period.
So what do you think is actually going to happen? Because you've got way more experience in this than I do. Like,
then nothing is going to happen, bro. People are either going to get played by playing themselves,
okay,
or the government's just going to shut up. Like, the government is best. Like, if these people were really smart, they would just act like it didn't exist. Because all they do is bring attention to it, right?
True. So do you think there's going to be any executive order, or do you think it's just going to be like a nothing burger? Like, not going to happen at all, or just roll it as a commodity and make it public?
They can do whatever they want. Joe Biden, the so-called resident, cannot do anything, period. So it doesn't matter what he wants. That's number one. Because legislation is tackled by the who? Legislative branch, not the executive branch. Very simple. So he can do all the executive orders he wants. Doesn't
Doesn't
change
matter.
anything. No, doesn't change thing.
Mm.
Very simple. So
Roger that.
yeah.
Um,
It's just funny because it's like people just look at I mean, just look at the Clinton Foundation. Jesus, just look at what they did. Look at Haiti.
I know, dude.
The same thing they did in Haiti is the same thing they did in Ukraine. And this, what's happening now, is a cleanup to that action. That's what's
Yeah,
going on.
without a doubt. And it wasn't just like the Clintons and the foundation. I mean, yeah, the
Oh
Bidens
no,
involved in that
they're
too.
just the leaders, bro. They're just
Yeah.
the leaders. You know, so rope theory, right? Rope theory is you got the people that are really on the inside that knows what's going on, and you got all the people outside of them, plus all the people outside of the people outside of the people outside of the people outside of the people, right? Holy shit, Hedron just went above fucking 5 zeros and a 2. Damn, it's mad annoying.
Yeah, let me see this. Let me see this.
I'm trying to I'm over here trying to buy some shit.
I was gonna say you're being awful fucking quiet today.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to snipe, bro. You fucking up my flow. Now I'm playing. I'm kidding. But seriously though, let me stop playing. But seriously, right? Like that matters, right? Like understanding the difference between one thing and the other is gonna really set you apart from being able to hold on tight and not get fudded out because you don't understand something simple. Because these people have no power. This is why it still exists. This is why all they have is headlines. They can't have anything else. That's why the media is complicit in everything that they do.
Yeah, that's a tough pill, I think, for a lot of people to swallow.
Mhm.
And it's like right when you think you're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. And it's like you've digested that and you understand that. It's like it's so easy to get pulled back in to a headline.
It
And
is.
oh no, this is gonna be different. This is gonna be different. It's like, no, actually it's not.
Not at all.
Not at
Same
all.
exact thing every single time, whether we want it to be or not. And it's until we choose to understand that we're the ones that are in charge, nothing's gonna change because we don't dictate anything. And that's the fucking problem. Because you can't sit here and tell me that what's happened over the past 2 years plus is what we wanted. Because I'm gonna tell you fucking what, not what I wanted.
No.
So I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Yeah, 100%, man. I like that
Yeah.
actually. That's like good to me too, because I get pulled back into it too. And I like your position never wavers, so it's nice because it's
Jay, but yo, I think about it. Did we vote for this? There's no fucking way.
no sir.
No way. So when you keep things in that simplistic format, everybody else just has to shut the fuck up. Because it's true. 100%
Yeah.
true. You know, people can say what they want, people can have whatever opinion they want, but they can't deny that, and that's a fact. And once you lean on facts, everybody has to shut up and comply.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't ever share my opinion. I don't care about it. What's my opinion going to do for you? Nothing.
True.
Not a thing. So that's why I never share it. It's not going to add value to nobody's life. What are you going to get from that? Nothing. So we can keep it moving, you know.
Yeah, I think most people are kind of set in their ways anyways now, especially after the last couple of years.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You got some real solid, stupid fucking beliefs that are just never going to be shaken.
Never. Yeah, and it's unfortunate for some people, but hey, man, they'll learn the hard way, bro. I mean, we can't save them all, and that's okay. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, all we can do is try. And I mean, that's just, you know, that, and a lot of people do, you know, and some people want to be saved and some don't. And what are you going to do? You know, all you can do is let people figure it out themselves. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of people that are still like trying to save. They got that like broken hero syndrome, trying to save everybody, right?
You can't.
Like a
Yeah.
dude trying to save a stripper from the strip club. It's
Yep.
like, bro, she clocked in for work today.
Exactly.
Like she chose that, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah, you ain't pushing
What are you
it.
doing?
She went there.
She went there, dude. She drove.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she probably got dropped off by the other guy, but
Whatever.
you know.
Either way, she chose to go there. Good point.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, what else did you want to talk about?
I just really want people to understand, you know, the importance of what's happening right now in real time. Misinformation, misinformation, misinformation. Right. This is what we're seeing everywhere. It's hard to battle it. You got to just be ready, willing, and able to understand that a lot of what you're seeing is a movie,
Yeah, it's not
right?
real.
It's not real. Focus on the fact that these people lied to you for the past 2 years and are incentivized to lie to you further now because the Rona shit is over. And that's really what's going on, right? That's really what's going on. Ain't nothing changed with the date.
Yeah,
Like,
and
like
focus
nothing.
on your own shit, dude. Focus on your
Mhm.
stakes. A lot of people, I see a lot of people getting flooded out of Hex, and it's like that. That's the bigger tragedy because you got to be a certain kind of person to even get into Hex in the first place. I feel
Correct.
like, right? You got to be a certain kind of person. They're already like on our wavelength, you know. And for you to get like flooded out of that bag, oh man, dude, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
funny for people to not understand that Hex is a self-perpetuating thing that doesn't need. It's not like it doesn't need marketing campaign. It doesn't need any of that shit. It just doesn't. All it needs is people to stop selling millions of coins like they're retarded. Once that's done, all is well.
Yeah, I agree. Like it just needs to keep doing what it's doing, and it's up to the people to find it at some point. And the good news is most of us are staked for 15 years, so we got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, yep, nothing
You know,
but.
that was the same thing for Bitcoin. It's like I said that from the beginning. It's like Bitcoin doesn't need anyone to say what it is, to try and like have domain over it, to try and speak on its behalf. Neither does Hex. They're both mathematical formulas that just do what the fuck they're supposed to do. And that's
Yep.
it. Checking in on Monday. Oh, yep, still doing what it said it was gonna do. Because it has no choice. It's just code.
Simple.
You say this all the fucking time. So yes, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, the marketing stuff is cool and it's fun, but like in reality, is that even necessary for Hex? No. What's actually necessary is education.
Yep. Without education, nothing we do matters because it's always going to be the same people doing the same things. Right?
Yeah.
Always. Never going to change. It's always going to be the same people having the same complaint, same argument, same everything, and it's never going to be new bodies, new minds, new ideas. Right? And while we might not need new ideas right now, what we need is at least people to understand what's going on so that they're not getting duped into bad markets and putting their value where it doesn't belong because they're going to try to flood a lot of people out of good coins, right?
Oh, 100%.
And
Absolutely.
that's their goal, man.
Yeah. And get you a sell. Come right
Mhm.
back home.
Big time. Yeah, and it don't cost them nothing, it
No.
doesn't cost them anything.
No.
I mean, it's free for them, they're just fucking chugging along. They got everything, I mean, and this is the thing that I think is hard for people to wrap their heads around. Like, why would they destroy anything? Like, they have infinite resources. They can destroy whatever they want.
And they don't care. Like you're still pretending that they care. They don't.
Right. Yeah,
and that you're
top of that.
pretending they care about you.
Yeah, which is even funnier.
They don't. Like we're just a number, a statistic.
Literally, that's why you're born and you get a QSIP as soon as you're born.
Yeah. You get your number tagged.
Even that's a trap.
Yeah, dude. We could talk about that for a fucking long time.
Oh man, let's not get started.
I don't want to get you wound up on this shit.
Whoa, yeah, I'm trying to keep it like low key and shit. But
Yeah.
man, like wow.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of games being played, and and it's part of this process. And what I'm gonna start doing, just so you know, is I'm gonna start I'm gonna start literally redoing all of my old videos because clearly that shit needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because people are lost, they don't really know what the hell's going on in a lot of cases. So people need to understand what crypto is. They don't know that a legislative branch can't touch any crypto. Like that to me is funny because that's a fact. They can't touch it.
Yeah.
So, there's a
And I
lot of
think a lot of
things.
that, I think a lot of that original shit that you were talking needs to be said again
Yep.
in,
Pretty
in
much.
dedicated videos.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna do. So,
Just recycle it.
yep. Yep.
Because nobody likes to go back. That's the unfortunate thing. Is like
Yeah, I don't get
content
it.
moves so quick, nobody wants to go back and look at that shit because they think it's not
Yeah,
relevant anymore.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. Like
When
the
it's
old
just as
information is the valuable information.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. But yeah, man. Um, I don't know. I feel like we could keep going on, but it's kind of like the same thing over and over, right?
We're just
Because
repeating it with different lenses.
yeah, and it sucks, but that's basically what it is. Understand that as long as you're in a decentralized crypto, you're more than likely safe. Because people are gonna have to find pockets of safety. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of those anymore. Like, let me take a look at what 10 years doing at this moment. As you guys probably noticed, crude is on a bonanza. It's just out of control. It's the U.S., North America, South American crude is at 125, 130. And I mean the options activity up in that range, the 120, 130, 140 range. The calls are just it's just straight calls up there. Everybody's leaning long up here, even in terms of calls. And now the question is, were people strictly short futures? Right? That's the question based on the actual positioning that we have right now. Give me a second just to pull up some data because this is important. Why is it important? Because this is what has everything else costing a lot of money. If it wouldn't be for
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
know
yeah.
petroleum, nothing else would really be that big of a deal. Like it just wouldn't matter that much, unfortunately.
Which again, oil prices like this, that's recession territory.
Yeah, I
Wheat
mean,
prices like this, commodities like nickel going nuts. That's the writing on the wall. That's the actual result now.
yeah, yeah. I
That's the
mean,
physicality.
this is literally what are you talking about? This is literally 2008 levels, across the board. Literally, like you can't hide it. Like this is recession level shit. So, let me see. I'm trying to get commodities. This is it. This is the site. hmm Okay, crude oil. Yeah. So let me see here. Yeah, so producers are actually net long, just slightly, about 4%. But everybody else is net long too. Um, I guess the only entity that isn't net long are the dealers, which are the market makers, which makes sense. So, in essence, looking at the composite positioning of the market for crude oil at this point in time, um, the market could either run away, and literally, it could either run away or this is just overdone at this point,
Yeah.
just because of all the options activity that you have sitting in the open interest sector of the market that can be looked at for the futures, like an aggregate. So, what am I trying to say? We have to remember that this is a paper market. It's not really a commodity market anymore. So what's happened is that the price action is trying to act like it is. We have to remember that it was only 2 years ago, not even actually, in about a month and 3 weeks, it'll be 2 years to the date that crude oil went negative. People forget this. But on April 21st, 2020, crude oil was negative. Negative. A barrel of something that you need, there's an input in order to produce it. It can't be negative. It can't even be zero. Right?
Which people said that was impossible. I remember that.
Well, it is impossible. The only reason it happened is because of the structure of the market, which is what they're trying to do to Bitcoin.
Yes. You imagine negative Bitcoin? Holy shit, that's a prediction. You'll at least see it. You'll see it at least once. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
They're trying to make it happen, no?
Fuck, that'd be wild.
Imagine. I can see all the plebs jumping off of buildings now.
Oh my God, dude. That would be so crazy.
They don't understand. So many people just don't understand basic market structure because they're too busy sucking middleman dick. Why else would they want institutions in here? Bitcoin and all of them, they're the only, like the Promise Coin folks, they want the middlemen in here. Always question people that want middlemen in the Promise Coin space. Always question people that don't want you taking your crypto wealth and splashing it across the world, because that's what they don't want. They don't want us putting our stamp on the world. Think about it. Why is it that there is no financial infrastructure for people that are crypto wealthy? Why is that? It's a good question.
13 years later.
13 years later, it doesn't exist.
And you know, a lot of these people that are like pro institution, pro middlemen, they're just so dumb they don't even know it. They don't even know their own ignorance. But it's just because that's what they're used to. Yep. So they just assume that's what normal is. So I got to have normal here in this new dish. So bring on the normal.
Literally.
Bring in the middleman. How many maxis do you think there'll be left after negative Bitcoin?
Oh, maybe a
couple. Fucking two? Maybe two?
Yeah, maybe a couple.
Two friends. Two friends will hold hands during the whole time.
Yo, this is wild.
So
funny, man.
What is max pain for Bitcoin? You know what max pain is? $100,000 Bitcoin and then negative $10,000 Bitcoin. That's max pain. Because nobody's going to sell at 100,000. You guys know this. 2017 showed you this. The bear market we're in right now showed you this. Nobody fucking sells the top. Nobody. Like 1% of traders will sell the top. Okay. And everyone else will hold because they're like, oh, 100,000, 200,000. Oh, 200,000, 300,000. So they're all going to still be holding. And then they're going to just like, because what proved that to me is just how complacent everyone was on this dump. Like this one was actually way worse than 2017, because in 2017, there was all kinds of people that as soon as it hit a level, they're like, fuck this, I'm out. And they sold everything. That never really happened this time around. Nope. What you had instead is you had everyone doubling down. This isn't the bear market. Nope, we're gonna turn, we're gonna flip, blah blah blah. Right, for months
Denial
is
and months
what
and
you
months
had
and months.
This time.
Yes. So how bad do you think the denial is going to be next time after it peaks 100,000?
Well, hold on, hold on. We haven't even finished with this one.
Oh, you think they're gonna? You don't think they're gonna? I'm just thinking max pain scenario. So you think they're just gonna? They could just run it down from here?
Well, look, I think we're not out of the woods yet. Here, we're at 38,000 Bitcoin right now. Are we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 39,000 Bitcoin right now. So
what would be more painful? Up and down, or just fucking more down?
What would be more painful right now is more down.
That's true. In the midst of all this.
Yeah, because people are expecting this fucking Cinderella story to happen. That's not going to happen.
Store value, right?
People are expecting Bitcoin to become a safety play like treasuries. And it's just not possible. But how the hell can Bitcoin be that? It doesn't even pay a yield.
And what would commodities do in this example where Bitcoin just keeps going down, can't catch a bid? Commodities got to go apeshit until they keep shutting them off every day.
Well, why are commodities going up? Commodities are going up for a couple reasons. It's not just, the printing of money. It's the fact that they printed shit ton of money. Of course, that's a starting place. Don't get me wrong. However, you have all the supply chain games that they're playing. The fact that they literally go out of their way to get farmers to destroy food. The fact that they got food getting imported from everywhere. Right? Like all of these things play a factor. Like, why is America important? Not, half of the shit that it imports. It doesn't have to, but it does. Nobody notices that. My country, same thing. Nobody cares. Nobody questions it. Why? That's why your dumbass is paying fucking 10x for some basic ass shit. That's exactly why. Because
and that's
you're
why
not
a
fucking
lot of
paying
shit.
attention.
That's why a lot of shit doesn't make sense either. Is like you'll see cheaper Chinese products in America than Chinese products in Asia.
Yeah.
Why?
Literally.
Why? So none of that shit it makes sense, but it's only because nobody questions it that they really don't figure out what's going on.
Yep. Nobody has any interest to figure it out. What's the incentive?
Yeah.
What is it? There's not much of one, and that's the issue. The issue is that there isn't much of an incentive to provide people with a desire for them to want to figure this shit out. Even though they really should be.
Yeah,
right?
there should.
They should, because they're not progressing. Their life isn't getting any better. And like, I had to literally sit here for years and figure this shit out in order for my life to ultimately get better one day. And it was fucking for naught. It wasn't because that was the intention. I just didn't understand why the system was the way it was. And I had to figure it out because something just didn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've cracked the fucking code because I'm the kind of person that you give a dog a bone type of shit. I'm just not gonna let go. And that's the only reason I know all the things I know. Nobody is out here giving anybody anything. Really
I'll tell you what, I like the version of me that keeps the layers of the reality keep revealing itself, right? That version and going through that journey is a whole lot funner than being blind.
100%.
Seeing is funner than being blind.
100%. 100%. I mean, what's the added benefit to being blind? Right?
Yeah.
There's not much of one. So, it's keeping things like that in mind that are very important. They're going to allow you to make the right decisions. They're going to allow you to have the right frame of thought when you're thinking about big financial decisions that you're going to have to make over time. Because guess what? You're at the floor of a lot of cool shit. So when you're at the floor of a lot of cool shit, you got to make a lot of tough decisions that the average person doesn't have to contend with.
Yeah.
Right? They don't.
I mean, even where we're at with crypto, like, this is the fucking start.
Yeah,
I'm people pretending like this shit's, this is the start of everything.
Yo, people acting like they got somewhere to go with this money, they're funny to me. Where are they going? Where exactly are you going with all this money? I don't get it.
Going to buy more shit, dude. Going to consume so I can continue to stay blind.
Yeah. Obey, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, what exactly do you need to get that you got to cash out these 10 million right now? Like, what exactly are you doing? Like, you ain't doing nothing with all that. Like, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, it's good that these fools are getting out, because these aren't the people you want along for the ride.
No, not at all.
Really not. So it works out. It's okay. It is okay. Because that's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is for us to teach each other, right? Put ourselves in a position to succeed and make that happen, because it's not going to happen any other way. And this is very important for people to understand, because where else are we going if we don't take ourselves there?
100%.
Nobody else is going to do anything for us.
Nobody's going to do it. So, nobody's going to come save you.
I mean, this is one thing I've been thinking about lately. I mean, and I think this is really the motto. If not us, who? And if not now, when?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Right.
I think, because weren't we talking about some shit recently with the fucking Die Hard movie?
Yep, that's
Yeah,
exactly
dude.
right. That's exactly
That's a good
right.
one to sit on and think, isn't it?
Yeah, I've
I
never
love
let it
that.
go since we talked about it that day.
Yeah, dude, I love that frame. It's such a good frame.
It's true. It's
Because
so
even when
true.
you think you're committed, it gets you to commit even harder.
Yeah, you got no choice, man.
I
No
like that.
choice. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
This is funny. I'm about ready to wrap this up because this is a good one. Nice, short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
When I first saw Yada Yada last year, I got to see a stream for people with a ton of money and we're paying for the stream. Yep, that's right. Nothing but value here, man. Um, guys, if you got like any Pulse Chain, Pulse X type related questions, there's not really much to update you guys on. Um, Everything is pretty much. Oh, one thing I do need to do is do the price thing, the price chart for Pulse X. I can do that. I just keep forgetting, so I'll do that.
Mhm.
Get that done. Put that out at some point, probably tomorrow.
You
But
got any new emails and articles you've been posting or what? You got some
I
new shit?
nah, I haven't posted anything. The last thing I did was this article called, where is it? People that do not like themselves, and it was just really going through showing the selectivity that we've seen in Hedron so far, and so people can kind of get their head around what stupid selling looks like.
People that do not like themselves.
Yeah.
People that do not like nice things and don't want anyone to be
Yeah,
happy in life.
like it's crazy, dude, because you think you're gonna sell at 10, but you're selling 1 million, 2 million of this thing, so you're actually selling at 7 and you're taking a 30% hit.
Yeah.
Period. Because you
You are
caused the
the red
market.
candle.
Yeah, you caused the market to step up out of the way because it saw you coming with 2 million things, fool. Like those are wholesale, that's a wholesale deal. So they're gonna
Mhm.
charge you wholesale prices. Meaning you gonna get less for more. Right? Like
Yeah.
what the fuck? I don't know why this is complicated for people, bro.
I still don't
But
get why people do that.
here we are. Hey,
2
I
years later.
just
2
yeah,
years later, people still doing the same shit they did, since what, Big Payday?
yeah.
Probably before then. That's when I started paying attention to Hex, is Big Payday.
I don't even know,
Right
man.
before then.
I don't even know.
It don't even matter. It's the same
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I don't even
It's gonna
know.
be the same thing.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad because, we really try to help people with giving them the correct information so they can make the right decisions. But the reality is that most people just want the quick flip. They want the quick fix. And that's why they end up losing, unfortunately.
Yeah, you gotta look at a longer time horizon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like
But hey,
step one.
yeah, I mean, and funnily enough, it was trading options that I figured that out because the highest rate of success for me came from picking trades where I had to actually wait for the market to develop, give me a structure, give me an idea of what I wanted to see, and all these little basic things.
Mhm.
But it's being able to understand that kind of helps. And that's what takes a little bit of time, a little bit of experience. It's not easy. It takes a lot of chart time. It takes a lot of sitting and studying. So for those of you that think you're just gonna walk in this game and make $1 million, very few. Very, very few.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And I think there's a better time to do that. I really think 2017 was a better year to just walk in and get rich.
Oh yeah, this is already too late. This is already
Yeah,
a very
way too
mature
late.
market. It's mature enough that can't happen, but it's mature enough that it can still happen for people that are willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
Because it happened to us, so clearly it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true, right?
Absolutely.
Because Bitcoin fucked it up, Ethereum fucked it up, Ripple, XLM fucked it up. Those are coins that people could have got millionaires, people could have became millionaires off of.
Yeah,
ADA
ADA.
fucked it up.
Yeah.
All these coins that have been around from that era that you didn't buy at zero and you didn't make millions off of, you fucked it up because you didn't understand the name of the game is just sitting on your ass and doing nothing. You know the song. I don't gotta get into it.
Hmm.
That song is popular for a reason. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things you gotta keep in mind, guys. This is easy. This is easy if you want it to be easy. And this is why understanding like the power of staking, why Hex is superior, like all of these things. Like, how does Hex do a 10,000x? Well, because you can't sell the freaking coins until you can sell them. Literally.
Yeah.
You know, what else? Well, the inflation is X, but it's actually X minus Y. Why? Because that Y is being deferred. That inflation isn't actually being minted. So that X minus Y equaling Z, that Z is the actual minted inflation. So if you're not sitting here and putting in some work, you are going to get left behind. The world has changed.
Yeah.
It's changed.
We talk about that a lot, man. There's some,
Mhm.
I just don't think a lot of people are ready for what's coming, you know?
No. Well, we got to remember, just like people weren't ready for the industrial revolution, right? Like you had the agricultural revolution, then you had the industrial revolution. Now we got the tech revolution, right?
Mhm.
And this revolution is the one that people don't understand. They think there's going to be some government decree in this one, and they're going to learn the hard way. Not quite how it's going down this time. Sorry.
Yeah, and this one will last longer than any other one. This cycle, this entire cycle, will be
And
so long.
and
It'll
this one
last.
is
It'll span lifetimes.
just starting.
Yeah.
Just
That's wild to think about.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's wild to think about.
Yes, sir.
Everything's gonna get. Everyone's cart's gonna get hooked onto this train. Everyone.
Got no
Every
choice.
single fundamental fabric of life is gonna get hooked onto this cart
Yeah,
and taken for a ride.
because they literally do not have a choice. There is no like so back in the day when it was just marijuana that was the only green light for economic hope. They didn't want to let that one go. Like they were like hell bent on keeping the war on drugs a thing, so they never let marijuana go. So now crypto is the only other thing. That is it. And if you're not involved in this, you know, as Richard has always said, if you get crypto right, you're good. If you don't, good luck.
Yep.
So that's it. That's all I got, guys. What about you, Jay? You got anything else, man?
No, I think I'm good. I think that's it.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Hey, if you haven't been paying attention to Hex, I don't know what to tell you, but you know, these sellers will run out of powder. So be ready. Because once they run out, you know, don't act like people aren't buying Hex because they are. Right?
Yeah,
But
people buying this shit. People buying this price
buying the
action.
fuck out of Hex. It's just
Yeah.
the sellers, you know, the liquidity was such that at the beginning, people could just get millions and now they're selling millions, and that's the problem. Dumbasses don't know how to sell. So, you know, we'll take it as it is. It's all good. More liquidity for us equals cheaper prices. So
Yeah, for now. But understand, like, if this plays out, how financial instruments play out, you won't see this again because you can't.
no.
Because the supply and demand will be completely different.
This is the most bullish point in time for Hex ever, if you know how to think long term.
Yeah.
Big if.
100%. Because just take this cycle, right? And how much and how cheap the price was. And then the price starts to go up. You get less and less. It's more expensive for a t-shirt. The game theory is baked in. So as time goes on, this has no choice but to go up. And this is the shit that Wales talks about all day long. I just don't get how people don't fucking see that. Just take what's just happened and duplicate it over and over again. But now the price of the t-shirts go up, which means the amount that you get at the end of the stake is less and less and less and less and less. Yes? The price has no choice but to go up.
None. No choice. And then on
No
top of
fucking
that,
choice.
you're not even taking into account the dollar effect. It's
Yeah.
kinda crazy. Like
Yeah.
everything crypto is bullish. And if you find the right one, you will never lose, period.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
simple. But yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thanks for pushing me to do the stream. It was a fun one. Look, it's stuff we all just keep harping on. We're gonna keep repeating ourselves, and it's important information. Um, but you know, understand this is a long-term game. Understand that you have to be strategic here because we are living in points in time that are going to go down in history.
Yes.
So be
This
smart.
point's going to be remembered.
Yeah, be smart. And if you need help, seek it. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess
sir.
with that, Jay and Wells out. Peace. Where is this thing? Here we go. Have a good one, guys. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the secret. The Godwell told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Trust
that.
us. 100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep. Everybody.